Good afternoon, everyone. I really wish what she were saying was true, that I was actually bringing good intellect to this discussion. Unfortunately, much smarter people have, or rather fortunately, much smarter people have spoken before me, and I just hope with gray hair, like which one or two I'm starting to get, I also get more intellect. Today, I want to present some arguments against software patents. Now, it's almost a given in certain spheres that of the harms that software patents bring. However, there are some people who are still questioning the arguments against software patents and still not aren't really convinced about them. So I'm wondering whether perhaps taking too abstract a view of software patents is actually doing is not getting to the core issues of the practical problems that people face when they try to get when they face up against software patents. So I'll basically be trying to cover three aspects. One, why software shouldn't be patented just by the nature of what software is. Two, about a legal case against software patents as per Indian law, and how there really is not much wriggle room in interpretation of Indian law. And three, practical reasons against software patents, and perhaps this third is the most important one when we're trying to talk about how to set policy.
Not showing slides.
No, I'm not. You'll have to pay closer attention to me, Prabir. So now, when anyone starts coding, the last thing that's on their mind is whether they should have a lawyer sit beside them and tell them whether anything that they're creating is legal or not. And the lawyer herself will have to actually be an expert in the software domain, not only in terms of the law, not only in terms of patents filed, but in terms of the entire literature of software. As Eben was talking earlier today about the different generations of computing that have come about and how things keep getting reinvented, I think that's a very important point. Given that software patents haven't always existed, the burden of proof when we're talking about allowing for patenting of software actually exists on those who are asking for software patents. So the question becomes, why should we allow for patenting of software at all? Secondly, in order to better understand this, we should look for the answer to who benefits from patenting of software. Now, a lot of the answers to these have come through various people's presentations earlier today, but I'm hoping by bringing the answers together in one place, it becomes easier to follow. It's quite, at the very offset, it's very easy to answer who benefits from patenting of software. One, large software corporations that have already acquired a large number of software patents. So it's not just any large software corporation that would qualify. Secondly, those corporations that do not create software but still hold different software patents. Okay? These are popularly known as trolls, and I'll come back to why these are particularly difficult and are particularly rewarding as well for those who hold those patents. And thirdly, patent lawyers. They always stand to benefit from software patents, either which way. What software patents do not help are the medium and small enterprises, and they do not help society at large. To the very basics, what exactly are patents? Patents are state-granted monopolies, lasting 20 years generally, and they have, and they're granted for inventions. And inventions need to have, as per law across pretty much most jurisdictions, 4 characteristics. 1, or rather 0, it must be of patentable subject matter. One, it must actually be something that is new, or what is known as novelty. It must have novelty. Okay, it must not have been invented before. Two, it must have something known as an inventive step. That is, it must not be obvious to someone who knows all these different arts, okay, how to put something together. Okay, just because you know how a screwdriver works and how screws work and how bolts work doesn't mean you'll be able to build a horse carriage out of that, right? So it should pass a step of non-obviousness. And lastly, it must have some kind of application to industry. Now, the important thing to keep note when we're talking about patents is that independent creation is no excuse to patents. And what that means is that I have patented something, okay, and someone else creates it independently of me, has the same idea, maybe had it 10 years ago, but is putting it into force now, is creating something out of it now, okay? That person will still be liable for infringement of my patent. And this is very important. And this is a very crucial difference from copyright. Now, if I, sitting in my room, come up with a poem, and someone sitting halfway across the world comes up with a very exact same poem, both of us can have copyright over it. However, patents do not allow for this. And this is a very, very important distinction. Now, coming to my nature of software argument, right? It's not really my argument, it's an argument that's been made tens and thousands of times before. However, I am at liberty to go through, to repeat it here in this room. Okay, that is because copyright covers particular expressions of ideas, whereas patents are over the ideas and functionalities themselves as long as it's not abstract. Now, software, okay, we've been told today, and I would think it is very obvious, software is basically algorithm. Software is basically mathematics at the end of the day. Anyone who's tried to write software knows that. What are the first lessons that you learn? You learn flow charts, you learn algorithms and how those work, even before you learn how to actually code. Before you learn C++ or BASIC or anything, you learn these things through flow charts. Algorithms, we call them otherwise. And software are basically instructions for computers to perform certain things. Algorithms are not patentable subject matter. Nowhere in the world are algorithms patentable subject matter. However, people are still debating about whether software is or is not patentable subject matter. I, quite frankly, for one, cannot understand this debate. It is for me quite obvious that software is algorithm, and if algorithm can't be patented, neither can software. And just the fact that software makes hardware do something is not reason enough, in my eyes, to actually call it anything more than algorithm. The legal case against software patents. Now, Section 3K of the Patent Act reads, the following are not inventions within the meaning of this act, a mathematical or business method or computer program per se, or algorithms. Now, as you can see, computer programs are placed in the same category as mathematical methods, as algorithms and business methods. Okay, it gives further weightage to the idea that computer programs are seen as a form of algorithm or a simple kind of mathematical or business method, if it's classified together with these other categories. However, we still don't really know what a computer program per se really means. Okay, people have cited US case law, UK case law, EU precedents, okay, where words such as such are used to qualify software, but we still aren't really very clear. especially in India, no case has ever gone to court on this basis. However, we can get some hints as to what it can and cannot mean. In 2004, there was an ordinance that the Parliament rejected in 2005, and in that ordinance, Section 3K and 3KA read as, the following are not inventions within the meaning of this Act, a computer program per se, other than its technical application to industry or a combination with hardware, and KA, come the rest, mathematical, business, algorithms, etc. Now, this was quite clearly rejected by Parliament, rejecting the entire ordinance. While someone might be able to say, sure, they rejected the ordinance, that doesn't necessarily mean that they rejected this particular interpretation. But given that we don't have any better interpretation currently as to what it does and doesn't mean, we have to go with this interpretation. We don't have a choice really on that matter. Okay. And all software in any case is meant to act in combination with hardware. So it's a redundancy, and it would include all software if you say that a combination with hardware would make some particular software patentable. Now, in 2008, the Patent Office wanted to put a particular spin on the meaning of computer programs per se. Now, which claim that the Patent Office objected to method claims allowing only device claims with hardware components.